Has anyone else noticed that, like, every time you go into Sephora now, it's just all little girls? And I have never seen it to this extent. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, but I just don't remember any beauty stores ever being like this before. Like, literally the other day, I was at a mall by my house, and I went in to just grab, I think, nail polish. And I get in line. It was a pretty long line because, everyone's returning stuff after Christmas. And there was this cute little girl with her mom. She must have been, I don't know, like 7, maybe 7. Like, she was so tiny, so adorable. And I hear her start yelling at her mom. And I mean, I'm not trying to eavesdrop, but like they were being kind of loud and they were right in front of me. And so I'm listening to what she's yelling at her mom about. And her mom told her that she could only get one kind of concealer. Meanwhile, this little girl does not have a single blemish. I don't even think her pores have opened yet. She literally doesn't have a single pimple, under eye bags, nothing. And her mom's, like, they're getting concealer for her. And she was literally upset that she couldn't get more than one concealer. I don't know if this is, like, everywhere lately, but I swear every time I go into these expensive makeup stores, it's just all really young little girls, which is really upsetting to see. After the other day at the store, I was, like, thinking back to, like, when I started wearing makeup and stuff like that and wanting to, like, ask for makeup for Christmas. And I don't think I really started wearing makeup until I was, like, 12, 13, which sounds kind of young, but I also did get my period very young, so I started developing, quicker than some of the girls in my grade. But I literally just think it's so crazy that you go into these makeup stores where foundation makeup is so expensive. Like, you're spending $50 on a concealer, you're spending $100 on foundation. And even for me, I'm 20 years old and I can't even really justify spending my money on, like, an expensive foundation, considering I don't really have many breakouts and I'm fortunate to have pretty clear skin. But I just can't comprehend the fact that little girls are under the age of 10 and they're so tiny and they're not asking for, like, toys for Christmas, or I think when I was little I wanted, like, an electric guitar or something like that. These girls are literally asking for skincare and makeup and they just don't need any of it. I really do think all of this need to want to grow up younger has come from, obviously, social media. I mean, I would never even think to ask my mother for makeup at such a young age because it just wasn't something on my radar. And I don't know. I just think it's really sad how much everyone wants to grow up quicker. And I think until you reach, like, college age, when you've been, like, hoping for this point your entire life to kind of grow up quicker and feel old, that once you finally get to that point, you miss being at the ages where you didn't care about things like makeup and social media and just anything of that sort. And I was an 03 baby, so I feel like looking back now, I definitely had a normal childhood where, like, social media was not a thing. Like, people barely had iPhones when I was growing up. So as, like, a little kid, I actually did get to grow up, having a normal childhood where all I wanted to do was play outside and, play with, like, little kid normal toys, which I'm very grateful for. But as I started to grow up, like, middle school, that age is when, social media did become a thing. I had Snapchat that age, and I do definitely blame all of that for, I always just wanted to grow up and look and feel older than I was at the time. And now that I'm 20, looking back, obviously I'm not that old, but I definitely can see, like, one of my biggest regrets is how fast I wanted to grow up. I don't know why there's always this race to want to feel old. I think it's just wanting independence, but I really wish I had actually kind of enjoyed being young and understood how nice it is to have your parents kind of coddle you and just be younger, like, be a kid. I don't really know what it would be like to be on the other side of things and being one of these younger girls now growing up and being, like, 8 years old and wanting to do makeup and skincare and caring so much about your appearance. I don't know what it's like to be a parent of these children who are growing up and they're just growing up so fast and they want all this. I'm sure it's harder to say no because another big thing today is kind of, like, you know, empowering kids, and like if you want to wear makeup and that's what makes you feel beautiful, great. But I feel like with all of this going on, it's so important to emphasize to all these younger girls that like the most beautiful thing is inner beauty, which sounds so cheesy, but honestly, you could be the prettiest person, and if you're not a nice person, no one's gonna want to be around you. And I don't know, I just feel like as a little girl, yeah, it's fun to play around with makeup and things like that. Like, I'm sure when I was little, I would play with things like eyeshadow and maybe put on a little bit of lip gloss. But I'm telling you, if you have not gotten your period yet, you're not hitting puberty, you don't need concealer by any means. You don't need foundation. You don't need any of these things. Like, when you're younger, I look back on my little self and I'm so glad that at least up until I want to say age like 12, I actually looked like a little girl. And I promise you're going to look back and you're going to regret how fast you wanted yourself to grow up. And another thing is just relying on things like makeup and, I don't know, things to make you feel more beautiful is really damaging to your self-confidence over time, because you begin to rely on things like that to feel pretty. And one of the most attractive things in a person, and a quality that I definitely can say I've lacked at times, is being confident. And I've met people who, you know, they're not the prettiest person ever, and they're really nice, and they just have confidence, and something about being confident just makes a person so much more attractive. And if you start relying on other things to make you feel pretty at a young age, you're never going to develop that sense of confidence. And yes, maybe I do sound like a hypocrite doing this get ready with me and talking while I'm literally doing my makeup, but I can genuinely say that the times that I feel the best about myself and the prettiest are not when I have all my makeup done and I feel good about myself going out. It's when I have no makeup on, anything like that, and I still look in the mirror and like think to myself like, oh wow, like I look great right now. So it's just important to kind of gauge, I don't know, you just need to get a self of sense, I feel like, before you start wanting to grow up so fast. Otherwise you're just going to grow up and have no idea what's important to you or anything like that.